Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back and welcome to Monday, November the 11th, day 36 of climbing the mountain. Starting with the check in, woke up and weighed myself this morning at 348.2 pounds, so we smashed right past our previous best. 348's a good start into the 340s, so I look forward to taking this momentum and staying on the attack. We'll go see what those 330s are all about here pretty soon. Then moving on to blood pressure. Measured the blood pressure at 151 over 85. A little bit higher, but I've been a little bit spotty with taking my blood pressure medication the last couple days, so that could be a contributing factor. It's still not terrible. We're not off the walls or anything, so we'll take that. Then moving over to sleep, I got 8.25 hours of sleep, which is great. A little bit more than what we're aiming for, so nothing wrong with that. Then I'll move over into the food for the day. So for breakfast, I started out by making a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich. For lunch, I had 10 pepperoni bagel bites. And then for dinner, I made macaroni and cheese. Then snacks of note, the sea salt popcorn is making a return. After I got done with the exercise for the day, I treated myself to that. So 3 cups of sea salt popcorn. Um, Moving over to the MyFitnessPal chart, everything looks good here. Um, the Even the sodium's not outrageous, so this is a decent day and better than most that we've had, so not bad at all. Next, I'm going to start to explain the isometric tissue remodeling that Brian is going to have me do. This is going to be 3 times a week. He said he doesn't care what days I do it, just as long as it gets done 3 times a week. So today was the first. I'm going to try to do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if I can, just for consistency's sake. The benefit of these exercises are to improve posture, get your body aligned. We're going to decrease blood pressure. We'll become stronger. We'll build muscle. Then lastly, a lot of these are aimed for 2 minute periods, so the point in 2 minutes is to start creating a tissue change that starts to occur after 2 minutes. Then also it creates a lactic environment, which strengthens the connective tissue for weightlifting. Right? It facilitates that strengthening, and we want to get into weightlifting sooner or later, so that's going to be of our benefit. Um, Starting out here, we've already passed it, but with the ankle mobility drills, we want to, with the first one where I'm doing the ankle circles, Brian told me that you want to make sure that the only part that's moving is the ankle itself, just to isolate it. And if you're moving your leg around, it's facilitating the ankle, and so we just want to keep the leg still and only do the ankle circles there. Then for the second drill with the knee bends, um, he told me that you don't have to start right up against whatever surface we're bending into. Or if you know bouts where you're able to kneel from or start leaning from, you can start right there. I was being too good of a listener there. Stuck to his day one coaching, but we can start a little ways away from that. The first of the 7 new exercises that we'll be talking about is a single leg swap. So with this one, you're going to bend one of your knees and then lift the other foot off the floor in front of you. And while you're doing that, you're going to exchange a weight in between your hands back and forth. And you're going to do 10 times on each foot. I'm just using a 10-pound weight here just until I get better at keeping. Next up is the third world squat. So you want to sit back into a squat and have your toes pointed outward slightly. And then you want to sit down as low as you can. Then you want to like clasp your hands and then push your knees out a little bit with your elbows. Just create a little bit of tension there. and we're holding this for 2 minutes. And if anybody wants to try this and you want to try for the 2 minute mark, modification Brian gave me is that if you're starting to struggle, if you can have something in front of you that you can grab a hold of with one hand just to take some of the weight off of your legs. If that'll help you get through, you're more than welcome to use that until you get stronger. After that, we have the isometric push-up hold. So I've want to stack up like a platform for ourselves. What we want to do is get down in a push-up position on the platform, and then lower ourselves down in between the two platforms. We're gonna pick our elbows up as close as we can to try to get them, you know, to we're pulling those towards each other in order to bring in our shoulder blades as much as possible. Pretend like we're pinching something in our back. Um, we want to uh, pull yourself down as much as possible too, and then also not let your shoulders roll forward. Um, this we are also holding for 2 minutes, and the modification for this is that if you get to a point where you can't hold the push-up, as I can't in the video, it's too much for me. I think I got maybe 20 seconds in, but instead of doing the full push-up, you could drop to your knees and hold the position there. That'll make it much easier. Next up, we've got the isometric elevated split squat. So this is basically just getting into a lunge position, and then we're going to hold that for 2 minutes on each leg. And additionally, while you're holding it, you want to try to push off of your back foot and then pull from your front foot. This proved to be very difficult for me. It feels like your legs are starting on fire, pretty early on, especially, I'm pretty overweight and extremely out of shape. So this one's tough, and I had to do it in several different segments. So you'll see that in the video. I cut out all of the parts where I'm laying on the ground crying, just so it's not distracting. But definitely, if you try this one out, don't be worried if you can't do 2 minutes at a time. It's a pretty significant step to get to that point. So just do what you can, and then we just want to make sure we're getting in the full 2 minutes of work here. This next demon exercise is called the RKC plank. So same position as your standard plank. Um, the difference is that we're going to try to generate as much tension throughout our body as possible, from our toes all the way to our fists. So when you get into the plank position, you then squeeze as tight as you can your fists, your glutes, your quads, and just your legs in general. You squeeze everything together and try to pull your toes and your fists together or towards each other, I mean. And this makes the plank pretty unsustainable, so the expectation here is that you'll just do this in short bursts. Uh, Brian wants us to gather 2 minutes of work here. So I do this in, what is it, about 9 segments altogether. So nothing to be ashamed of here. In fact, there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of, because you're intentionally wearing yourself out in small bursts, just creating tension. So demon exercise, like I said, this is one that is really tough to do. I think to gather 2 minutes of, well, maybe like 2 minutes and 15 seconds of footage, it took me about 10 minutes, just from rest periods and things like that. So this one's a tough one, but it'll be worth it in the end. Then that takes us to the downhill part of our workout. It's the glute bridge. So with this guy, you just lay flat on the floor, end up picking your knees up and setting your feet flat on the floor. And then you want to lift your butt into the air and create that bridge from your shoulders to your knees. So and then you hold that. We want to hold it for 2 minutes altogether. You want to turn your toes slightly out, and then you also, if for what I'm going to try to do is pull my heels towards my butt to work the hamstrings more. Um, this one's not so bad. It's more relaxing than anything. As with the grip things that we've been doing, once you get out towards, the minute and a half, 2 minute mark, it starts to become a little taxing. But this one's ain't nothing you can't handle. And if you need to do it in breaks, that's okay too. But I was able to do this one in one segment, so happy for that. Lastly, we've got mindfulness breathing. And so what this is, we're going to lay flat on our back. What you can do is put one hand over your chest and one hand over your stomach. You want to take quick, deep breaths in through, well, not quick, but deep breaths in through your nose, maybe 2 seconds as you can, if you can. Fill up your stomach as much as you can. Don't breathe into your chest at all. Make your stomach puff up, and then you want to breathe out through your mouth, and for twice as long as it takes. So, what Brian told me, well, first off, his note is uh, smell the roses and then blow out the candles. So, what uh, what he suggested you do is breathe in deep through your nose for 2 seconds, and then breathe out through your mouth, and try to take the process, or try to make the process last 4 seconds of breathing all that air out of your stomach, and just do this over and over again. So in for 2 seconds deep, out slowly for four, and repeat. And this is a thing that you can do if if you get bent out of shape, upset in some fashion, or you're having a bad time and you want to try to focus up again. This is something you can do really quickly. Just do some repetitions of it. Let your mind reset a little bit as much as possible. It's a neat thing to try. That deep breathing, that deep regulated breathing, uh, can help you focus back up. So it's worth a shot. But that's how we'll end the new exercises. Then we'll go back into the uh, grip exercises. Those haven't changed. Standing right about 40 pounds of pressure that I'm holding for the 2 minutes. Then lastly, we've got the treadmill work. This has just changed slightly. So instead of increasing the time that we're walking, we're going to start increasing the intensity. We're going to do that with some science on our side. So I got a heart rate monitoring watch that I'm wearing. What we want to do is walk as fast as we can while maintaining a 120 beats per minute heart rate or less. So doing that, I was able to walk at 3.3 miles an hour, and that put my heart rate anywhere between 118 and 124. So that's the window we want, just so we're not really taxing our heart, but we're giving it a good workout. And we'll stay there until that beats per minute drops down to the point where I can pick the speed up more to get back to the 120 mark. So this is how we're going to train our cardiovascular system, just to adapt to the speed, and as it gets better, we'll be able to pick the speed up, and that will also lead to increased burning of calories, and we'll get to the point where we can start jogging before too long. But that's what's going on there. And then as far as whatever else I have to talk about, just really happy to get back down to a new low with the weight. I do think that we're going to be able to keep going with this, and I feel like this is going to be a good push that we're going to make. I think we can get down into 330s and beyond, but we'll take care of the 340s before we start worrying about the 330s. Uh, just really excited overall. Everything's coming together, and it's worth noting, I think there was a 10-day period from when I hit 349. After that, I gained weight, and it's been a week and a half since I got back down. So we just stuck with it, kept to the process, and here we are again. We're breaching new ground. So the patience and the stick-to-itiveness has paid off in this regard. Then I'm gonna just do the quote and the clip, and then we'll call this video done. Shouldn't be any more long like this. I just had to explain what was going on as best I could, uh, get everybody up to speed on what's going on. So the quote that I found, and these are both relevant to what we started today, because uh, these isometric things where we're just holding a position for a long period of time. It's one of my least favorite things to do, and I think just in general people don't like these very much because it is kind of a torture. Some people try to get their athletes to hold these things for up to 5 minutes, and just the 2 minutes is pretty rough. But I was reading some of the material Brian gave me, and someone says something to the effect of, if you're gonna hold these positions for a long period of time, you're gonna have to find a happy place and live there for the time, because you're just gonna get in your head, and it's nothing but you and the discomfort that you're causing yourself. And you know, it's nothing that anybody wants to do is my main point, but coach has asked us to do it, so put me in the game, coach. We're gonna do it. That being said, the quote that I found is, "You can never know what you are fully made of until you start doing the things that you fear the most." And that is by Edmond Mbiaka. He's a self-help writer. Uh, so for me, this is one of the things that I dislike. It's something that I've always been poor at, or not very good at, right? And you can see in a lot of the things I have to make several attempts to get the 2 minutes completed. Then also, you know, editing the video, watching myself struggle, it's been, I, I would say, far more humbling than I was expecting. Just seeing myself unable to do the things, or, it's pretty simple motor skills in some of the cases, and I'm losing my balance and falling all over the place, or I'm only able to go for a little while. But that's kind of what we talked about before, where you're not you're not going to be great at anything unless you've practiced it and worked at it for a long time. So we're just in the beginner stages, so this is to be expected, I believe. That's okay. So that's what's making it just fine and dandy for me, is we aren't good at it now, but if we keep working at it, we'll get better at it. And also, as we lose weight, that's going to make a huge difference. Just not having, that extra pressure and tension created, that'll be helpful as well. So between practicing it, getting stronger, and losing the weight, this will all come together before long. So we just gotta go through the motions, keep doing the thing. Um, then uh, the clip I found is called "Do What Is Hard." And it's another one of these motivational videos. This one I like a lot, and it speaks directly to this. It's something, like I said, we don't want to do. I guess if we were left to our own devices, we probably wouldn't, and that's personally why I wound up at, the 370 plus pounds. But one of the things the video says is, if you're waiting for yourself to feel like it, you're never going to get anything done, because it's just not something that you're gonna feel like doing. It's gonna suck. Um, and that being said, we want to embrace the suck. And I liked the video quite a bit. I watched it a few times tonight while I was editing the video. So check that out. I'll throw those two in the description below. That being said, I do not think I've forgotten anything. I'm just super happy with where we're at. So on that note, thank everybody for watching. Thanks for rocking with me. Really appreciate it. Um, keep climbing the mountain. I'll do the same, and I will see you tomorrow.